I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting here alone for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts to make me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good a reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. My voice still hurts from doing Kenji, man. Eventually I hear a tapping noise outside in the hallway, and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant, as if though she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so, because she looks rather lonesome just standing there. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was important to look prim when entering our classroom.
Excuse me.
She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I've realized the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Morning, Lily!
Hisao? Good morning. I didn't hear you come in.
I wonder if she thinks it was suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell her too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now.
Oh. Have you seen Hanako today by any chance?
No, she seems to come in only before just before the bells ring, or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you?
No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here.
I shouldn't have got so up so early today, I guess.
You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should. Punctuality is a good thing. I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, or any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone's trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today.
I actually close my eyes when I do Lily's voice.
Hi!
Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with the loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch.
Hi, Hit-chan!
Hi.
Look, it's the class representative! Hello!
Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's or Shizune's use of the word look.
Good morning.
Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right? Right?
I'm not.
Lily seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they don't really get along at all. Then I realized Lily might actually not know Shizune is present. She's trying to detect whether or not she is to know who she's talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune to be the one that actually talks. Am I slurring my words? Excuse me. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune.
You were here even earlier than us.
Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotion on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird, though, that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here a little earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune's already moved on.
Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events. Even the first years. Except you. There's still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today! The deadline is today. You certainly like taking your time, don't you? If I had it my way, I'd have had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say, the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect the whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's even harder than distributing the funds for one class's event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school, and then some! The one who does that is me!
Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she's getting really into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? I mean, there's still a whole day left.
Please, Hisao, it's alright.
Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself.
If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I've forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then, can I have it, please?
Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second.
It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class.
She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council? I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't just something you should be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible.
They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come back to school and give it to me. If you want, I'll apologize on their behalf for getting sick.
Damn! Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't and seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy life to drop something off that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class rep, or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself.
Shit. One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of.
Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully around the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither see or hear how excited she is. Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind him, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of the sarcasm that she meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily's had enough and is ready to push back. Panty shot.
I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you have time to track me down and make sure I don't get my own.
Are you accusing me of slacking off? Seems like you're confusing me with yourself. Great fucking comeback, Shizune. I mean, seriously.
I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you.
You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell.
And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent.
The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation.
Hit-chan, don't you slack off either.
What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hit-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. Don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting so mad at me. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted.
That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right onto it as on his first week.
Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decided to back her up, too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses, excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but I said back then I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it'll mean being drawn back into a confrontation with Shizune, and that's what she wants. Whatever. Forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner.
Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now, then.
She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling very reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back, and I can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turned the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not really feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead of opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems synchronized perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they're right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I noticed Shizune and Misha also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there is pent-up anger in there. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down in their seats again.
Oh, I'm so tired.
She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after class, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course, we're in the student council, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws. I think those encumbrances. No, nothing that might make this festival short of perfect. Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting to them. Oh, hello. Hanako. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. Hey, what is it, Hanako?
Has Lily been here?
Sorry, I haven't seen Sato. She came back but in the early morning, though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with the usual studying gaze. What's she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. It's what happened if two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is?
If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at? You need to find her? She was looking for her in the morning, but I guess you could have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah. I can come with you. If it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She really has this troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly. One that makes me almost constantly be on guard by myself. Wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary. Remember, like, why there could be a person like her. But still, I have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Are you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. Seems trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria's crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick my bag up when we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at the comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going for a stroll together, something I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we're walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. Guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily's nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already?
Just at the library. I was reading.
So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. So not exactly a thorough search, then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right?
Right.
With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves at Patty to even begin interacting with her. Small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It's hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So you and So you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right?
Yes.
Not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor even why I asked the question, which was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gets a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible.
Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy.
She gets a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to stay anymore, both of us content that the discussion's reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the library, we're met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to the other. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright?
Just keep going.
The students pass us without so much as the second class, and Hanako takes up her position at my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as I've even never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as mediator, I doubt Hanako would even be able to walk beside me like this. Seems completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strange silence while I rue her inability to socialize at all. As we make our way up the stairs, the noises coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. That wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here at first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to class 3-2. With Hanako less than subtly positioned herself behind me, I opened the door. What could be behind it? God, I love cliffhangers!